Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy back here with another video, and I was just going to make this video just to run through a couple of underrated plays that I see here in the market. Just to let y'all in on a little secret, I have been doing this for a little bit over 5 years. I started back when Cosmic Eclipse, Team Up, and all that came out, but I wasn't buying stuff to invest. I was more so ripping product for the fun, and it really did get me back into the hobby. There were a lot of great promo boxes at that time. The Deoxys Espeon promo box with the Darkrai Umbreon in it. The hospital one, I forgot what it was, but it had like Sword and Shield base and it had the Clefairy and the other two. Just a lot of really good promos. The tins, the Snorlax tin, etc. And in today's video, I think there are a lot more underrated plays as far as the singles go. And I just wanted to go over a couple of those today and go over a little bit of some steel product as well. So let's just start off with number one on my list here. And that's going to be the Drowsy from Scarlet and Violet base. And I mean, you guys can see right here on the screen, this virtually has a 10% PSA 10 rate. That is super low for a card that honestly I think is really one of the more unique cards out there. Very pretty card. Honestly, as crazy as this may sound, it kind of reminds me of the Umbreon card a little bit. I mean, obviously Drowsy may not be that popular of a Pokemon, but I just don't think you can deny with the population and the beautiful, mysterious artwork that this is one of a kind. This is a one of a kind card. For this to only be 450, and hell, you could probably even get it for cheaper. I just think it's a no-brainer. I mean, look at that discrepancy right there. Just something, I mean, I know the card shot up, about a year ago exponentially when the singles market was in full effect. Um, but I just want to say, like, singles markets have ebbs and flows more than any other market. And, singles, they'll have their day again. So I think just, I wouldn't say stock up on it, but having one of these can't personally hurt your collection. I know this card isn't on my list, but I want to say one thing about this card. I know this is the Japanese version, but more specifically, I'm talking about the English version. This card sucks. This card absolutely sucks. It looks like a video game, bro. Like, I know people live and die by this card, and I do appreciate the text not, covering up more than half the card. That's a big gripe that I have with a lot of cards is how much text actually covers up the artwork with the Mewtwo, especially from Distant Rivals. Um, Dude, like, it looks like a fifth grader drew this. Like, there's nothing special about this card. I would not go all in on this card. I know a lot of people that live and die by this card. I just wanted to point that out since it was on my screen. I think this card is massively overrated. I mean, yes, it's a shiny card. I know that's going to hold a little bit of a premium, but guys, look at the artwork. I mean, you could have drew this. You could have drew this. Like, come on. That's not art. All right, let's keep going here. So, I want to get into this. This is like a 25% PSA 10 population over the full population of PSA grades. And I just wanted to mention this doesn't just go for this card, but this one in particular I really like. I like how small the letters are. I like how you can see a majority of the card, and it's a beautiful artwork. But this goes for all the prismatic cards, including the Umbreon. They have very low PSA 10 pops, which if you look at a set like 151, I mean, those are through the roof. Hopefully they don't print it as much as that, but I have a feeling they will. I love the rainbow borders. They haven't come back. Who knows if they will make a comeback? I think Prismatic just has a lot going for it. Literally, it stands out over every set in this era. Contrary to what other people believe, I know Scarlet and Violet is scarce because we went through a drought in 2023, but I just don't, I just don't see those boxes doing big numbers. Other than the fact that they're very scarce, but I think the early block is piss poor. If you guys are really banking on a Magikarp and a Pikachu that, kind of reminds me of Vivid Voltage, maybe a little bit better, then I think you guys are taking a massive risk, but you can't really go wrong with Prismatic. And you're gonna see another card from Prismatic, but just take into account the whole, evolution line is very low pop, around 25%. And I think it's going to continue to be that way. And the scarcity of actually pulling these cards is also going to bring up the value because more packs are going to get ripped. The product's going to be more scarce, and this card and the other ones and the other subsequent cards that go with this are going to be rare and they're going to be hard to pull, and people are going to buy more of them because they can't just pull them out of a regular pack. So, yeah, I just think I'm really showing you guys like Scarlet and Violet had something that Sword and Shield didn't, Sun and Moon did, but Sword and Shield had a very high PSA 10 pop, especially for English, which is uncharacteristic of English. But yeah, I mean, these discrepancies here, I think, are going to drive this market to do better than Sword and Shield as far as the singles go, and they're better looking cards. Charizard UPC. So this, you could have bought. I know a lot of people are kicking themselves in the ass, but you would have made higher percentages on booster boxes. I would always recommend a booster box, but I think people are going to come around to this. It's still relatively cheap. I mean, look at the 151 UPC, $900. That has a higher pop, maybe, than Charizard UPC. I mean, it did get printed to the absolute moon. But even if you were to open this product, you're making your money, if not more than what this box is worth. So in my opinion, I mean, if you're a rip and shipper, this is a good product, which I bet you they are buying out this product. The promos inside, if you just grade one of them a PSA 10, you paid for the whole box. I mean, you have you have three cards there that one of them pulls a 10, and hell, maybe if they all get nines, you can pay off the whole box and still have packs left over. So I just think you look at the market, you look at where all the other UPCs are, and I just think this is massively underrated, undervalued. It was overprinted, but as we see with many overprinted things like Roaring Skies, Evolutions, they all eventually go up because these do get ripped. And especially, I believe this product will get ripped. It's one of the cheaper Sword and Shield products, and this right here is a no-brainer. One downside I will say, being that I do own this product, is storage. You do not want to overload on this, being that it's probably not going to go up as much as a booster box, but it doesn't hurt to have it. It's a cheaper buy than a lot of other things, considering what you're getting. And another gripe with it is it doesn't have a Pokemon Center promo on it or a stamp on it. So you could really take those two things into consideration, but I just don't think there's enough cons for it to outweigh the pros here. So I would definitely go with this product. Maybe you want to spend a little extra on a Brilliant Stars or a Chilling Rain. Honestly, I'd probably do that, but this is such an easy product to find, and I feel like it's going to be a very hot commodity later on down the line. Very underrated. Now we're going to go into a set that is a little bit more risky, but I believe has some beautiful cards in it. This is probably the most underrated set right now. I mean, you look at the top 10 value, which some sets don't even have a top 10. They just have 4 cards at the top, and that's that. The rest of them are piss poor cards that you don't want. They're just filler cards. And this really has a very strong top 10. I mean, you look at the 2 gold cards, hard to pull. Those are going to have low PSA 10 pop. Bad thing about it is, I guess, when they switched to this block, the card quality started getting better, which you might think is a good thing, but for collectors is a bad thing because there's going to be a higher PSA 10 pop. But same kind of goes for the Charizard UPC. You get a promo that's going to pay off a portion of the box. So this is essentially a $200 box. If you were to, take the card out, open it, you have 36 packs for 200 bucks. And the hit rate is very high, so you could potentially easily pay this box off pulling any of the top chase cards. Has a Venusaur in it, great card. Lucario, not a huge fan of it, but it's a really cool card. The Latios is a criminally underrated card. I really like that card. The Absol is beautiful. I mean, this set, the waifu cards are even some of the best that we've seen in a long, long time, probably since Sun and Moon era. So I just don't see why people are sleeping on it. And especially with the booster box reprint rumors of them not going back and reprinting booster boxes, I believe this is kind of a no-brainer play. This is better than anything else that's came out. Not hell, I'd even say it's better than the Ascended Heroes. I might get cooked for that, but I just don't like the Gengar. I don't like a lot of the cards in it. They feel overused. They feel, like redone versions of cards that we've already got. And I'm kind of sick and tired of what they're putting in here. Why does Psyduck always have to be in the water? Why can he not just get a cool artwork that doesn't have to do with him floating in a lake? I mean, so I just think for what you're getting, the uniqueness of it, this is kind of a no-brainer play in my opinion, and the price point. I wouldn't be telling you to get it if it was like a $350 box, but This right here is a comfortable price point for me to recommend this box. Up next, we have the Prismatic Evolutions PC ETB. This is a no-brainer. They obviously are going to print the hell out of the regular ETBs, but I don't think they're going to print this that much. And this has more potential than the 151 ETB because of the promo being better, the set being better, the box art maybe not as good, but it's still really good. It's right up there. And I just think all around, this is a better one. This is a better PCETB all around than the 151 PCETB, and for many reasons. Um, Beautiful display piece, harder to get in a good condition. Being someone that bought a lot of these, I can tell you firsthand that these always, let's see if this one looks to be really good condition. So it's kind of like bad that I use this one as an example, but typically when you look at these, they'll have rips here, dents here, dent, dent, dent. You can barely ever find these in a good a condition as this one. So shout out to this seller, King Rando. Uh, this guy actually does have a pretty good condition box, but honestly, I'd send him an offer if I were anybody watching this video. But these are going to do numbers, man, and especially long term because we're still relatively new to the PCETB game. And if you look at Obsidian Flames, the promo does matter. And like I said, this one has a beautiful promo, which we're going to get to that. I mean, I just don't. You can't go wrong. You just can't. And these are going to be really scarce. They do not print these. So I wouldn't recommend you a regular ETB just because everyone's going to be dumping that. They're going to be harder to liquidate. These are going to be so easy to liquidate. They're a very niche item. People are going to want these when Prismatic starts getting a little scarce. And if not this, I'd honestly recommend a 3-pack blister. I just think those are better plays. Honestly, cheaper to get in. Maybe buy them in bulk, get them for around $20 a pop, 25 a pop. If you can get them for around there. I mean, I'm a 3-pack blister guy if I can't get the top end products. So, that's kind of where I would go. But this right here is a no-brainer. I'd at least get a couple of these before they go up, and they will go up, believe me. All right, next product. I mean, again, guys, look at the PSA 10 pop. I mean, yes, you could bring up the Magneton from the Surging Sparks PC ETB. That one has a very high PSA 10 pop. Shinji Kanda artwork. People say it's going to do well. I don't personally believe so because of the PSA 10 pop rate. This one's a safe pet. This one's a safe bet. Um, this one is damn near a 25% PSA 10 pop. I think the card is absolutely beautiful. Once again, the words don't take up too much space. Why would it? This isn't really a playable card. I believe that Pokemon should just get in the habit of not putting a lot of words on cards that aren't playable. I mean, what's really the point? Got a Pikachu. It's got everything going for it, in my opinion. And like I said, these are just hard. They're hard to get in a good grade. And I do think that in 5 years' time, people are going to come back and say, well, if I can't get, this SIRs from Prismatic, you can come here and get this. And it has a Pokemon Center stamp. I think these are going to hold a premium, just like we saw in the bull market of singles. These are always going to do well. I just think it's a no-brainer. Not a lot to be said about it. Um, it's a cute pose. I just think there's too much going for this card. I think people should eye it. Don't fully put your money into it, but it doesn't hurt to have a couple of these. And hell, if you can just get the card in good condition and send it in and get graded, it's got a good profit margin on the return there. And as you can see, 9. Okay, there was a lot of 9s. I know it's kind of weird to see 3 10s, but look this card up. You'll see a shit ton of 9s and not a lot of 10s. So it's a hot commodity. And last but not least, this one's probably my worst pick. I'm kind of biased towards this card, but this is another one from Mega Evolution Base. Again, guys, come on. Come on. This is probably the best artwork that we've had so far. Easily. I can't even think of anything that comes close. Even the Gengar I don't think is this good. Um, I'm just gonna recommend you just look into Mega Evolution Base, watch it. Don't put in now, even though these are at all-time lows. And honestly, if you could make an offer for like 350 and snag that up, you're not gonna lose in the long run. But I'd recommend just keep an eye on these cards because it is risky right now. Personally, I wouldn't fully recommend you just go all in on something like this, but if you can buy the card raw, it has a decently good chance of hitting a 10. If you can buy it for under $100 or maybe a little over and convert it to a PSA 10, I mean, you're talking a pretty good profit margin there. So, to end this video off, I just want to preference that you should just be looking at opportunities for the newer stuff, not the older stuff. And I'd say Scarlet and Violet base moving forward, there are plenty of opportunities. As you can see with these, well, this one isn't a good example, but low PSA 10 pops for the Scarlet and Violet block. Moving into Mega Evolutions, we are seeing a different trend here. But if this goes down that rabbit hole of not getting a lot of PSA 10s, I think this is a great pickup. And I would just recommend this based on the artwork. This pick right here isn't necessarily you're going to hit the jackpot pick. I just think that if it does trend in one direction, you could be looking at a pretty good percentage gain in the long term. So yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Just wanted to go through a couple things I'm seeing in the market. And I'm still new to this YouTube stuff, so like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think down below. And yeah, guys, I'm out.